why he's decided to make a change right at the start of the second, where Jitin has been called back to the bench and Thoi Singh has come in his place. Once more, Lajong back in the day and taken them to the semi-finals of the Indian Oil Duran Cup. Just waiting for Lalit Singh Rawat to blow his whistle. And so it begins the second half with Northeast United in the lead, courtesy a goal by a forward dragon in Radeep Long in the 36th minute. A shot from distance that smarted Shillong Lajong. One needs to see if the Red Dragons can breathe fire once more. Brad, what would Virendra Thapa have told his young chargers at half-time?
I think just knowing Virendra Thapa just wouldn't have really been too animated. I think he'd be pretty happy with a lot of what he saw from his young side in that first half. I think just a little bit of composure, a little bit of risk-taking when they were playing out from the back. And then maybe squandering the opportunities they're getting in the final third, which is the decision-making, especially on the set pieces. I think you really need to make those set pieces count, capitalize on their set pieces, and I think also would have given them confidence, saying, just be patient, the goals will come, the goal will come.
Yes, Gurmeet. I would think that would be the first thing they need to say. Not a single shot on target from the 6 that they laid out towards goal, and that's a statistic they would want to change. Giving the ball away as Damait, as he was trying to find Vigo, or it's Buam rather. They switched flanks in that first half. Buam's gone onto the left and Vigo's come onto the right. Initially they started with Buam on the right. Offside meanwhile.
Yeah, I think that's it's clever play where they keep interchanging, asking different questions of the fullback. Sometimes you're dealing with a Frankie Buam. Will go take players on the inside as well as on the outside, likes to cut inside onto his right foot. When he plays on the right flank, a lot of times he looks just to beat the man on the outside and get his crosses in. So it poses different questions for the fullback.
Jitin being substituted, as we saw in that graphic as well. That was the kind of graphic I wished we could have seen on a lighter note. And the referee had switched today as Oi comes into his place. Ball stolen away by Kitbok. Towards Vigo. Samte stood strong. The idea was right by Rinzwala, just the execution towards Ajaria was found wanting. But there's acres of space for Ajaria suddenly. In such a situation, this is what the Northeast United would live for. Challenge and a foul. Thoi on the floor.
Yeah, this is the risk now for Shillong Lajong. Do they commit more men forward? Do they play a higher line? As you can see, Frankie Buam just stuck in on young Thoi Singh, who's come on as a substitute. Thoi slightly better ball retention than Jitin, who's more of a sort of get your head down and run at players, but use his pace to get in behind.
They were quite invisible in that first half, weren't they? Right.
Yeah, certainly. I think that's not an impressive first half at all by Northeast, but luck is on their side. The defending champions. They got a goal out of absolutely nothing, purely speculative shot from Radeep. It was dead centre of the goal. Those fans of XG, I mean, that's probably one of the lowest XG shooting from that kind of distance, dead centre towards the goal, and to go down as a goalkeeping error.
Fascinatingly enough, the man whose praises we've sung time and again today, Alauddin Ajaria, yet to register a shot. A single shot on goal. The game plan by Shillong Lajong to stop him in his strides has worked so far. It's Ajaria who tries to play the ball towards that Chiman kicked away eventually by Civil. Andy took a shot from distance in that first half, went straight into the hands of the goalkeeper. There is a blueprint as to how to stop Alauddin Ajaria. perhaps other clubs will be looking at what Shillong Lejong are doing today and say, this is something to work on. Toy Singh with the run. Is he onside? He's kept the ball in play, puts in the cross. Doesn't need to make.
Yeah, I think what the blueprint in terms of stopping Ajari today hasn't necessarily been in terms of stopping Ajari directly. It's more stopping the service into him. And I think even on that occasion, you look, Ajari had pulled out into a really good position on the top of the box. Toy Singh just didn't manage to find him for the cutback.
Muthukanan chips the ball towards Vindwala. Ajari, Andy. Andre Jose Rodriguez Gaitan. And that's why Andy. Ajari, uncharacteristic heavy touch by him. Goal scorer Radeep Klang almost put himself in a spot of bother. Foul again on Thoi, who's picked up quite a few punches since he's come onto the pitch.
I think that's what his coach will be happy with. Talk about ball retention. Even the fact that because of the way he plays, he draws a lot of fouls from defenders. That helps them get hold of possession. But now you look at Northeast bench, not happy that they weren't allowed to take that free kick quickly.
Doesn't seem like Central North is the fourth official right now, Brad.
I was just about to say, it looks like he's made. No, it looks like he's made a recovery. I think that is Latin on the moving up and down that sort of area. A little bit easier to walk around than it is with sprints.
It's good to see that then. Andy, meanwhile, will take this free kick. We can see what he was thinking. Damait could have done better perhaps, but has gone out for a throw. This crowd has been entertained so far.
Yeah, you see these slippery conditions now. The game, see players losing their footing a little bit. Seen in a couple of the games in Shillong, the evening games, where the towel is about to come out for teams that prefer the long throw.
Klang trying to slip it through. Kept in play now. Almost, but in vain. That's the mic. Launches it towards Frankie Buam. But it's Radeep Klang who cuts it off. Chema Nunez is not being able to get onto the ball. And if you're the playmaker of the side, that's a cause for concern. Muthukanan couldn't keep the ball because Glady was clever, and now it's Sheen. Shillong Lejong can pile on the numbers, but Sheen decides to put in an early cross. A heavy touch by Ashir Akhtar into the grateful hands of Gurmeet.
That touch could have gone anywhere. Fortunately for Gurmeet, looped into his hands. It's allowed him to set Ajari off on this counter-attack. Strength by Ajari.
Ula's on a yellow card, remember. Ula's on a yellow card, remember. And Ajari is just wrestling with him. He wins the foul.
Yeah, we'll just need a little bit of help from a teammate. It's where you don't need to win the ball if he's got facing the goal, the sideline, facing away from goal. Just no need to overcommit. Ajari using all his experience. Just win aside. Free kick, and this is where they can pile some pressure on this Lajong side that's going to get more and more nervous as the game progresses now with the scoreline staying this way.
Left foot of Andy. Ajari is lurking. Zeroed away just before it gets to him. He always gets himself into positions, always knows where the ball will land. Aladin Ajari, perhaps that's the secret to his success. Time and again. 23 goals in the ISL last season. First man to cross the 20 mark
Давай.
in the history of the league. Long ball launched forward by Gurpreet towards Samte's run. Again, perhaps that due that you were talking about, Brad, just makes the ball skip away a little bit faster than you would ideally want it to.
Yeah, that's why you see the way Lajong play, keeping it along the ground is a little bit easier way of handling the conditions in these night games. But we wonder whether they could maintain the intensity and press that they had in the first half. The way Boy coming on,
come.
made some better in their ball retention, having more possession as the game. And obviously having to go lead now. Go forward with every single attack. Space behind.
Nunez in a bit of space. Clean put the shutter down.
Absorb a little bit of pressure in this game, and where they just got to be careful. That's the second or third time that could have also been stolen in this. Needless foul that he's trying to get Jerry now getting a yellow card.
That would be fascinating. Although we would want that to happen. Short from distance, off the punch by Sybil. Acrobatic.
With second phase balls, Lajong need to be a little bit better, both the throw-ins and the set pieces. Once again, just coming out from the back again, that right-hand side of the field, they're losing possession. Lajong, character. Maybe just in case of the nerves.
Oddly enough, Brad, just going back to that referee thing, I think it's happened once in a League 2 match in England, where they had to call a referee down from the stand. Someone who had a license, who had a referee license.
Come down a little monster.
Nuggets in front of you. Meanwhile, a foul. And this time it is Shillong Lajong that can put some pressure. And Ashir Akhtar, who needs to be very careful.
Again, wants to be good. That's what
Come on,
saying. How many times see what Ashir is doing. I think that's normally you see the defenders on him, back and shoulder, holding on to almost getting he can get it guarded.
Tried that in the first half.
Always had some re-injury at least over the years. You think of Samuela, now playing for Dine Harbour. Top three legend Benedict Singh, also more famous.
That was tight on. Showed some strength. Ken starts out of position. It's ball out against Aryan. Jiman Nunez promoting the youngster. This ball under the ball.
Winning inside a corner.
Ball खेला नहीं कम जाने ले ये उखान बरियाव एप्सो पिसो
Probably the last meaningful contribution from Liverpool as he makes way for Gogoi, who's scored in the last game. Been pretty impressive in his last competition for North East United, and posed a different problem for Long Lajong and the remainder of this game.
And he takes the corner. It's got a lot of height, and it beats Samako. Just couldn't diverge it towards goal. Slipped there by Buang. Towards Ajare. Against Side. Against Martin. Who's taken the central striking position, and you didn't see that much during the ISL last season. Whenever there was partner with Jitin on the pitch, it was Aladdin Ajare that would lead the line. That's an interesting change for Partner Gogoi as well. Playing as a central channel.
I think Buffett enjoys playing more down centrally, good with his back to goal, looks shoulder sometimes, also the last man getting behind. I think it just suits Ajare's game better, so I think that's what Pedro Benali is trying to say, is find the best fit for how can you get the best out of Aladdin Ajare. You're looking at so far the way he's had the service that he enjoyed last season. Obviously, Nixon, who the key players in the centre midfield, and I think that's where it's just the puzzle that you find is how Benchima and Anthony can get the best out of Aladdin Ajare.
It is Ajare! That's his first shot, and he wasn't far away.
Rahul, quality chair mujang jesa ne nuwa jero. Ang tang na la na. Dene mai.
North East United players, and that's the cleverness of Ajare. On a couple of occasions, he get good goal scoring positions. You don't score goals hanging outside in wide areas. Look at it, he's in a central position, and he'll be disappointed, unmarked. He has a man to hit the target and ask more questions of well, that's where Lajong will have to be very, very wary. He is not going to miss too many, given those kind of chances. I don't see Lajong coming back to this game. Switch on.
Mugula's on a yellow card as well, having to be last man against PSC Partner Gogoi. That was felt up. For the forward, having caution at the back for Shillong Lajong, Hikbo and Mugula. In fact, got a yellow card very early on in the game. Actually playing with that caution. Mula itself who clears the lines.
You saw this in the last game for Lajonto against Navy, where you felt this is the moments in the game where they sort of suddenly start to feel a little bit of a lull, and then the Tapa made some substitutes.
Hả? Rahul?
It had an impact in the game. Will he have to do that again?
Nói xem.
Toy.
Em gila nama? Rahul?
Challenge Tariag. Toy slips. Tariag can. Wow.
Aku sudah jalan semua bah.
Tariag is putting pressure onto himself. Needs his captain.
Lalu aku dah kaya main kok. Satu dah kaya ni. Acha, lana perancam mana? Ini jalan. Tentu siang, kamu nanti berapa? Macam pun bola ini.
Lunge forward, but
Tenta saya kualiti kumba saya. Bono kalam silang, bono kalam baik.